Hello. Welcome to Stay F Homekins.
Hi, everybody.
Hi.
I'm Paul F. Tompkins.
I'm Janie Haddad Tompkins.
She's an actress.
He's a comedian.
We are a married couple living in Los Angeles, and this is our podcast where we catch up on a Friday night and pass it on to you.
And also fight crime.
Passively. We passively fight crime through our podcast.
Okay, we don't really fight crime.
We're not trying to, but maybe we are doing it. Maybe there's somebody that listens to this that's like, I was going to commit a crime, but then that podcast made me feel good.
Here's what I personally, it's just like my own personal ethos is.
This is your PE.
My PE.
Mm-hmm.
I think if you make an effort to put out goodness and kindness and compassion in the world, even when you're not feeling like it, that fights crime. Is that true?
You're probably right.
Oh, you don't know for sure?
No, I haven't looked it up.
Well, anyway, I got my weekend water.
I got mine.
And it is time for the Chat Fest.
What kind of a week did we have? Well, last night, wonderful evening. We met up with some old friends.
Friends that came there in town from New York.
Yes. We hadn't seen them since before all this happened.
We did see the other friends that were also with us last weekend.
That's right. And so we all got together.
They live like 5 minutes away, and we had not seen them.
I know.
Since before the pandemic.
But we all got together, had dinner at a place called The Raymond in Pasadena.
Yes, and we sat on the patio.
It was
So
wonderful.
it was outside.
It's a really charming place. We had never been there before. Yeah, and I really loved it.
We were invited to go, and I was like, what's this? And I looked it up, and I was like, this place is cute. And then I was like, I never heard of it. And now, like, once I heard of it once, like, it's all I've heard about.
Yes.
Does that, you know how that happens?
Absolutely.
And I was like, how did this escape my situation?
That's like what I heard of BTS. Never heard of them before, and then all of a sudden...
The Bind, Torture, Kill killer?
That's BTK, honey. BTS is the K-pop band.
Oh, shit. That
influences elections.
Oh, right. I like that. And they have like a TikTok army of activists.
Yes.
Yeah, they're funny.
It's pretty adorable.
Yeah, that's cute.
But we had a really lovely time, and
that was it? Just and?
Well, I went into a life-changing yawn that I could not get out of.
What's going on over there? I looked away for like a second, and I was like...
It was a perfect storm.
Did I hit the mute button?
No, I started yawning. Jane was taking a sip of her drink, and then there was dead air.
Shit.
No, I overindulged last night for sure.
Hell yeah, we did. We both did.
We had desserts, but I also had one drink over my limit, which I should not have done. But I was having a good time.
I think, sometimes life happens.
When you're making other plans.
When you're making plans.
But I don't regret it because I had a good time. But it did make me a little slow today, I think. Because I started out in the morning fine, and then as the day wore on, I got more and more tired.
Also, it's really hot right here. Do you want me to turn the air down? Actually, I think I'm going to turn the air down. Why don't you vamp?
I'm okay, but what if I go into one of my yawns again?
Don't do it. Don't do it. Take a breath.
I will say that today I recorded an episode of The Neighborhood Listen, and it was so much fun. Oh, and Nicole Parker, my co-host, and I got to do Comedy Bang Bang on Monday. That's exciting. Or that's coming out Monday. And this coming Monday.
Great.
And we were in studio. I hadn't seen her, obviously in person since the pandemic.
Oh, yeah.
Like we started our second season when we went into lockdown. So we finished it over Zoom, and so I got to see her, and it was so nice to see her in person. And it was a good group of people. We all had a really good time. It was very nice.
Oh, that's exciting.
Yeah. And it's like, it's things like that make, I don't know, it makes everything not just feel more normal, but you realize how important those things are and how much, it's easy to take them for granted,
Well, this is, so Neighborhood Listen, it comes out
It's going to come out on Monday, starting June 28th on Stitcher.
So this
Stitcher
Monday.
Premium. Yes. So it's behind a paywall. Sorry. I think 6 months from now it gets released for free.
Okay.
But right now it's behind a paywall.
Okay. So for between now and between Monday and 6 months from now, you have to join Stitcher Premium.
Yes.
Okay.
Use code neighborhood for a free month trial.
How many episodes? So are you doing 6 months worth of episodes?
No, that's a lot. That's a lot.
Oh, okay.
No, our seasons are 13 episodes.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
I see.
Yeah.
So, but they keep it behind there.
For a while, yeah.
Okay.
And then it's released to the plebes.
People are very excited about it rolling out.
You know what? It's been really nice to see the reaction. I didn't realize that we had as many fans as we did. And I was going through our email account because we solicit. If people are not familiar with the show, what we do is we take actual posts from Nextdoor, from Ring, from any kind of neighborhood social networking app like that. And we use them as the jumping off point for character improv.
Comedy improv, yeah.
So we play two characters that live in this fictional place called Dignity Falls. Then we have guests on who are either they can either play the person who made the post or they can play the person who is the subject of the post.
Okay. And you have different improvisers that are known for improvising comedy and stuff.
Great people, really funny people.
Yeah.
This season has been so much fun. And it's a show that has gotten sillier and sillier as it's gone on.
And you and Nicole play consistent characters throughout the whole thing.
We play the same people every time.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it's really the first 2 seasons are out for free now if you've never listened to it, and it's really a lot of fun.
And if people aren't familiar with Nicole Parker, she is hilarious and she's so multi-talented. She
was on Mad TV. She played Elphaba in Wicked on Broadway.
My favorite thing of Nicole's though is probably something that's pretty niche. Because it was a show she did here in LA.
Yes.
And I became super obsessed with it and went and saw it twice where she plays this aging sitcom actress. It's a one-woman show. I'm going to
remember the name of the character.
I'm going to super mess this whole up, but she's reflecting. It's essentially a musical, she does a musical improv in it.
Yeah.
Although some of the
songs are set, and then
scripted.
she takes suggestions for some musical improv.
Yeah, at the end, she kind of brings it all together. And so she's playing this aging sitcom actress who, it's almost like a memoir, like one of those Hollywood memoirs from the 70s, you know? And she goes through all of her adversity and sexual harassment and all these opportunity, getting paid nothing. And
her battle with eczema.
Yeah. She had a battle with
I believe it's called Suitcase Full of Lies.
It's my favorite thing I've ever seen in my life.
We saw it. I hadn't known Nicole that long, and we went and saw that show at Rockwell in Los Angeles, and it was a
amazing.
fucking blast. Yeah, it was really fun. She's amazingly talented.
She's blows me away because she's an incredible performer in general. But maybe one of the funniest people that walks the planet.
She's tremendous. Yeah, and it's so much fun to do this show with her, and we just laugh for an hour, it's really fun because we get to play with each other alone first. And I gotta say, the guy, our engineer, Brett Morris, who accidentally played Nicole's husband on the first episode.
Oh yeah.
He's become a regular character on the show, and he's really funny. He's not an improv guy. You know what I mean? No. He's a musician. Yeah.
Musicians.
He's in Man Man. Did you know that? You know that band?
Oh, with Megan Mullally's husband?
Nick Offerman?
Wait, what are you talking
about? There's so many things going on right now.
What? Wait.
No. The guy who's in the Dan band, Dan something.
Okay.
He is the husband of Kathy Najimy.
Oh.
Megan Mullally's husband is Nick Offerman. As far as I know, he doesn't have a band.
It's not racist because I'm also Lebanese.
I don't think it was racist before.
That I mistook her for someone.
Megan Mullally for Kathy Najimy?
Yeah.
No, I think it's more of a profession of racism.
All right.
Man Man is this avant-garde band that our friend Rollin told us about years ago.
Man.
Yes.
Yes. Amazing.
And I knew of that band before Brett was a member of it, and now he's a full-time member of that band.
Wait, that's weird because Rollin, remember he wrote that play that was like a musical play that was like it was like it was based on like Much Ado. Not Much Ado.
It wasn't Much Ado. What was it?
Taming of the Shrew.
And
Nicole was the star of his play that he did here. So that's a funny like connection.
It was a production of Taming of the Shrew that was written through the lens of Beatlemania,
Pop
essentially.
60s kind of. Yeah. And our friend Justin Kirk was in it, and we went to see him, but like Nicole played like the Kate character. Kate character.
Yeah.
And
that's the first time I ever saw her.
it wasn't Taming of the Shrew. It was like an adapt. It was
like a pastiche of a couple different Shakespeare things.
He wrote it. Yeah. It was
and original
I mean,
songs
it wasn't
all that stuff.
Is what I meant.
Yeah.
It was like inspired by.
Oh, the songs I believe were written by Billy Joe Armstrong from Green Day. Wasn't that the case?
Yeah, and anyway, that's a weird connection because Brett Morris. If we know about him through Rollin, that was way before.
I know about him through Earwolf. We know about Man Man through Rollin.
Okay,
and then Brett, the years after I'd known him, became a member of the band. Do you see?
I want to tell my story that involves Kathy Najimy. Now. And I don't think it's cool, but I'm going to do it anyway.
It's fine.
It's 2021, guys. Right? I mean, we're not so... Can we stop being so sensitive all the time?
This is a very mild story in terms of your concerns about it. I think you're fine.
Years ago... I want to say 8 years, 10 years, 8, 10, I don't know.
Something like that.
Someone we know. I mean, you need to know it was like 8 or 10 years ago because I think that, no, it was more than 10 years. It was like maybe 10. No, it was like 10 and a half, 11 years ago. You kind of, I feel like you need to know that it was like the end of the decade. Like it wasn't.
Okay.
Does that make sense? Because what it involves, which is email etiquette and stuff like that. Right. So years ago, someone we know, I don't even remember the content of the email.
And it
doesn't even matter. They sent an email it was about something like not serious. Like maybe it was like a show or an announcement or something along the lines of something light-hearted or light.
They were giving some general information about an event. Yeah.
And it was a huge mass email that this person did not BCC. So it was like all CCCC. So it was like 100, I don't know, email people.
It was 100 email people.
We're on the thing.
You mean recipients?
Yeah, recipients. And I have a little mischievous streak in me that occasionally can get pushed or activated, shall we say. And also, on top of that, I can at times be annoyingly tech savvy, which might cause me to come across as smug or annoying or whatever.
I don't know about that.
Okay. Well, anyway, personally, I understood the etiquette of such things to be that you BCC as opposed to CC.
Yeah.
And
which I think most of us do.
Yeah.
And sometimes people they make a mistake. They don't pay attention and they don't realize they're in the CC window, not the BCC window.
Right. This was an email from someone in the comedy community. Most of the people on the thread were also either within the comedy community or comedy community adjacent.
That's right. I think people have an idea of where this is going. Now that they have that information.
So I started with a little snarky, lighthearted, hoping to lift people's spirits of the day.
Lift people's spirits.
Response of, I think it was banal. It was like, am I going to be the only one to reply all or something? It was just like a few handful, whatever. Mm-hmm. And I'm going to mess this up because it was so long ago.
Well, you did it. Did other people also reply all with jokes?
Yeah, I started the cast. I maybe started.
You broke the seal.
I started it, and then other people also didn't understand. This was still at the time where people were foggy about their email etiquette because they sometimes were responding like "can't make it" or like informational, but instead
to everyone.
Yeah. Which was which I could see the disaster coming because I was like, well, this is not. Oh my God, Cuckoo!
Hi, Cuckoo, you're just in time.
Cuckoo! I was like, this is not a group of people that are in the vibe of this. And someone on the thread got pretty annoyed and curtly requested to immediately be removed from the conversation. And that person was Kathy Najimy.
Wasn't there another person?
No, but I have another story about a explosive email thread that was more recent.
What about, I thought it was someone else also on that same email thread.
Oh, maybe once she started it, other people then started piling on, which made me feel sorry for the original poster,
right?
The OP, because now they were somehow responsible for the mischievous people.
Yes,
mischievous
people. But it's now were the requests to be taken off the list, were they also CC'd to everyone?
Yeah.
That's the best part.
Yeah.
I'm of two minds about that, which I imagine here's the thing. Comedy people, this is what happens. If you fuck up and you don't BCC, you're going to get people that are applying all to your gigantic list.
Yeah.
And it's not the end of the world. It dies down. You know what I mean?
Kind of. Yeah. Actually, you're reminding me I want to respond to okay, so then yours...
Like, just look at them pile up. You don't have to... You know what I mean?
So I got...
What? It's funny to imagine somebody reading everyone and going, oh, this also wasn't important information. Like, of course it's not.
Also, I've been a Gmail user for a long time, and, like, it's all contained in one line.
Yeah.
It's not like you open it. I mean, was this person still using Hotmail or something? I mean, I don't know.
Maybe. Who knows? Who knows? There's some people out there still with AOL accounts. So here's the thing. As a person in comedy, I'm of two minds about this because I, of course, like to be the person who is replying all.
Sure.
On a text thread or on an email chain or whatever. But I know how I feel when there's another person who's like, you're dragging it out. You're drawing it out. Now you always have to reply to everything, but I know I'm that person for someone else. But
no, here's what I like about that. Okay. Okay. Because then this happened a second time in recent years in a much more rarefied air of comedy royalty. Not long ago, Andy Richter, his...
I think I remember this.
Had a relative that was running for office for like a Congress seat or something.
Right.
And he wanted to send like, hey, heads up, my, relative is running for this seat, looking for a signal boost, or if you can throw a few bucks, whatever, blah, blah, blah. And because he's Andy Richter, he has a very high profile email Rolodex. And he did not CC. Okay. This might have been in one of my top 10 greatest days of my life. Because first of all, no one in this group said remove me from the list at all. Period. However, immediately, comedy heavyweights started rolling in the jokes of the cuckoo town jokes.
Yeah.
Now, some were gold. Maybe some were a little, like you say, pushing it a little too past its
too many tags
moment. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I enjoy both because
absolutely.
Because for me, it's like I like the creative process in general. Like I'm someone who I just love the process. Like I love knowing about people's processes. It was like I don't know, for that half a day, like I was in some celebrity studded writer's room where everyone was just throwing the thing into the air to see what stuck. And I gotta say, I put my own name in the hat and I felt confident about my contributions. I'm just saying I stick by my contributions.
I was on that, right?
Yeah.
Did I throw something in there? I must have.
I
must have. I'll have to look it up.
Well, now I feel like this was like 3 years ago. Like I just tonight out of the blue just want to be like, hope everyone's doing good.
Honey, that would be hilarious.
I will say there was a running joke, and I want to attribute it to Tom Lennon, but I'm not certain, where he wanted us all to meet up at an islands.
Yeah, this sounds familiar.
But it was like in the joking banter. It was not like, for real.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll just be like, guys, I'm still at that islands.
It's just me and Tom.
It's just me and Tom. Or should I just be like, hope everyone's doing good and nothing, or what? What's funnier?
I miss us.
Guys, I miss us.
I absolutely endorse that, and I think it would be hilarious.
It was scary because there were celebrities on there I've never met in person.
Oh yeah. There were people on there like, there's no way this is cool. But I think, but at that point, I think 3 years ago, we'd all learned how to mute things, and
that's exactly right. That's exactly right. And also,
like I see where this is
no
headed.
one's gonna slap back at Andy Richter. Do you know what I'm saying?
Well, not in a real way, but they will roast him for sure.
No, but what I'm saying is no one's going to be like, can you take me off your list?
Exactly.
No one's going to.
Unless they did it privately. Oh.
That's called creating a filter. You just create a filter.
Yeah, I know. But by that point, I'm sure everyone knew how to do it on their own without having to write.
I think I am going to do it tonight. Just like, guys, Guys, I miss us.
I remember when I first got
scared.
email. Sure. Are you asking me permission?
Yeah.
Do it. Absolutely.
Yeah, when you first got email, I didn't mean to
When
interrupt.
I first got email, I remember getting on it was not long after 9/11, and somebody CC'd me on some post that they found. This was like people were like posting early memes and stuff like this, you know. And then I was just getting shit all day long from people that I did not know.
Was this like one of the, like when you get on like a forum thing like that?
No, it was email. It was just email.
Okay.
And people were just responding to this. And I said, can you take me off of this?
Right.
But at least that was like, we're talking 2001. You know what I mean?
That was like early days.
Yeah.
For
me. Yeah.
Well, and I didn't even have Gmail in 2001.
I don't know that it existed.
Oh, good point. It might not have.
I don't think that it did.
You know, one of the greatest regrets of my life is ending my Hotmail account without having archived certain messages because that thing went away.
I had that
And
happen with my Earthlink account.
And some of our early courtship before we dated for real was in there. Yeah. And there was like a really golden email I needed that is gone forever.
But
unless you have it. No, I bet you sent it from Earthlink.
Yeah, I'm sure that I did back then. Yeah. But guess what? It's written on my heart, so you can read it anytime.
I know, but it would have been like a time capsule thing to have that email. That's when
I could save time in an email. The first thing that I'd like to do.
time in an email. That's
Who was that? Jim? No,
Jim Croce.
Was it Jim Croce?
Yes. Joel, my friend Joel Spence. I've mentioned him on the podcast before. We used to go to the Y together sometimes, and there was like a window where you could watch the swimmers, and they were having like a little kid class in there once,
right? And
I walked out, and he was sitting there watching the little kids like learn their swimming, and I was like, Joel, and he's like, if I can, he just like started singing. So when you sang that, like it reminded me of like him doing a bit. Because he's always doing fucking bits.
He loves doing bits.
He loves doing bits.
Speaking of bits, here's a bit of a break. And a word from our sponsors. Bye-bye.
You know, it's great talking to a professional in a neutral setting about things that might be interfering with your happiness or preventing you from achieving your goals. I personally speak to a therapist, and it has brought me so much worth and value. I don't even know how to express it. So I think that if you're thinking about talking to someone, you should. And BetterHelp will assess your needs and match you with your own licensed professional therapist. You can start communicating in under 48 hours. This is not a crisis line. It's not self-help. It's professional counseling done securely through the internet online. There's a broad range of expertise available, and that might not be locally available in many areas. The service is available for clients worldwide. You can log into your account anytime and send a message to your counselor, and you'll get timely and thoughtful responses. Plus, you can schedule weekly video or phone sessions so you won't ever have to sit in an uncomfortable waiting room as with traditional therapy. BetterHelp is committed to facilitating great therapeutic matches, so they make it easy and free to change counselors if needed. And this is the best part. It's more affordable than traditional offline counseling, and financial aid is available. BetterHelp wants you to start living a happier life today. This is a great service. So please visit their website, betterhelp.com. That's BETTERHELP to join the over 1 million people who have taken charge of their mental health. In fact, so many people have been using BetterHelp that they are recruiting additional counselors in all 50 states. There is a special offer for stayfhomekins listeners. Get 10% off your first month at betterhelp.com/homekins. That's BETTERHELP.com/homekins.
All right. Well, during the break.
I wasn't even ready.
I snuck up on you. During the break, Janie did it. She responded, I miss us, with a heart emoji to that vast thread and got a ha-ha back from
Weird Al.
That's right. Weird Al
Wait,
Yankovic.
I was like, my stomach was like roiling because I was like, should I do it? Should I do it? It was like scary. And I like showed Paul and I was like, can I send this? And he said, yeah. And then I sent it. And then
just so people know, I don't control Janie's actions. She's allowed to do whatever she wants.
Let me ask you, listener, if you lived with a comedy god, a comedy genius, would you run your jokes past him, her, or they, or them? Just wondering.
Now, look, that's fine. I just want people to know that you don't have to ask me permission to do things.
Well, also, like, I got like 20 like mailer name on post, like no longer here, blah, blah, you know, like whatevers. Mm-hmm. So
bound to happen.
Yeah, bound to happen.
Yeah, probably as a result of this thread.
By the
I'll just change my email address. That's how I'll get out of this.
Judd Apatow changed his email address. I don't know why that thread like tickles me so much. It just makes me laugh. But also, like, the fact that Weird Al sent a haha like is giving me life right now because I feel very seen, you know? Like, I feel seen. I don't even know if you're on the thread.
I am. I saw that.
Oh, you are on
that.
the thread.
Yes.
Okay.
I did not see
You did not weigh in on round one like you thought.
I didn't.
You were deep in, like, busyness at the time because I kept, like, running to you and being like, can I send this joke? Can I send this?
I don't remember.
Because at one point, at one point I had, like, gone into IMDb and started to make like submit like a fake credit under my profile that, and the title of the movie I was in was Andy's email chain. And I like screenshotted it and I sent it. I felt very proud. I felt like proud of it. But yeah, so I think at the time I was like, can I do this? Can I? Because other people were like sending photos, like weird photos and stuff.
I think people are really going to laugh at this.
Well, I know I am laughing at it. And so, like, maybe that's really the only, like, maybe that's the only sort of motivation for doing something.
Oh, for selfish reasons? Absolutely.
Well, I mean, they say, like, laughter can be contagious. Is it as contagious?
Honey, they say so many things about laughter. It's contagious. It's the best medicine.
Is it as contagious as the new Delta variant? Is it as the best of the medicine as the modern vaccines?
No.
So it's not that good?
No. Now, we're getting ready to travel.
Guys, remember, I think we mentioned it last week. There will be no show next week.
That's right. A week
but we're going to put out a movie watch along. We haven't decided on our movie title yet.
Yeah, we're gonna pick one and then we'll watch it tomorrow.
We're in discussions.
At some point, discussions broke down. They have been reignited.
They're sort of like, we don't lean toward comedies. We lean toward more dramas for the watch-alongs. It provides, you don't interrupt rhythm, you know, like you're not, you know what I mean? But I think a couple of suggestions we made to one another, in my opinion, fall into the comedy category. So I'm like, sort of like, do we do those or not?
Well, one joke suggestion that came out of conversation last night was Porky's, which neither Janie nor I have seen.
Is that a comedy? Or
it is a comedy.
So that can't even be in the running.
And also, it's disgusting. We're not going to watch that. Porky's was a movie that was a... What? Be quiet. No one was talking to you.
Siri just piped up.
Okay.
Fucking Siri.
Siri loves Porky's. That movie was a big deal when I was a kid. I was like, how old was I? Like 11, 12, something like that when it came out.
Okay.
It was a big deal because it was very raunchy.
I don't know. I think I was just a twinkle in my parents' eye.
Of course.
Yeah.
They probably hadn't even met yet.
Yeah.
But it was because it was like raunchy, so you knew there was going to be like nude girls in it.
Yeah, boobs.
Yeah.
Boobs.
And I never saw it. And then the time had passed where I wanted to see it. You know what I mean?
Well,
where I was like, oh, I know exactly what that movie is. It's garbage.
Yeah, I mean, is it good?
I have to go back and see that.
Yeah. I don't know.
Many sequels.
Our friend last night said it was so funny. We were like, there was this dessert on the menu that was called the So LA. It was like a joke, like title of a dessert.
It's like 4 O's.
It was like So LA.
And then capital LA.
And then I leaned over to her and I was like, should we get the chocolate or what? And she was like, oh, why don't we get the Sula?
And we genuinely, for a second, didn't know what she was talking about. Like, what?
And I said, oh, I think it's So LA. and now it's like this running joke, like the Sula.
But now let's talk about the amazing pitch we came up with last night, which was a shot-for-shot remake of Porky's, but
female
from a female point of view.
Like a feminist, like Porky's. But shot for a shot. I mean, like, we need a skilled director to do that.
Absolutely.
Because shot for shot is like a lot of extra work, I'm thinking.
I actually think shot for shot is less work.
Not for the designers,
because it's
I bet.
all mapped out. Well, yeah, but who cares about them?
Not for the artistic crew.
Who cares about them?
I don't know. That's
their job.
I feel like this could really
I actually think that makes things easier.
At Sundance.
I think it makes it... Well, shot for shot does not mean you have to recreate the sets exactly.
I thought it did because didn't they do that shot for shot Psycho with Vince Vaughn? But
it is literally just the angles. Like, it was not set in the... I don't think that was... I saw it. Why did I see that?
I didn't see it.
But it was not set like in the 60s or whatever. You know?
Maybe that's our watch along.
Gus Van Sant's shot-for-shot remake of Psycho? Also, he included a shot where Vince Vaughn was masturbating while he was spying on Anne Heche. So not pure.
So, okay. Why, though? You know?
Yeah, exactly.
If you're going to do the shot...
Exactly. If you're going to do this dumb thing in the first place.
If you're going to do the shot for shot, you don't get any artistic... Like, the whole idea... Like, what...
Just do a remake.
So, are we to believe that Gus Van Sant...
Are you telling me?
Are you telling me that Gus Van Sant walked away from Psycho and he was like, y'all, you know what's missing? This movie's near perfect. This movie's near perfect, but there's just one. Bless you. You look like you were dabbing when you.
I know, that was very unfortunate. My other arm did not move.
He was like, I think it's perfect, but they needed to include one more shot.
Can you imagine watching Psycho?
One more.
You're watching Psycho and you're saying, why don't they show him jerking off? Well, clearly he must be.
I've got to fix this. And like he just like goes around like pitches, like he's like pitching it, and he's like, now we all know there was a scene missing from Psycho.
Oh, this is the thrust of his pitch.
Yeah.
Not shot for shot remake, but I'm gonna fix Psycho.
Yeah. I'm gonna put that one shot in there
that we all know was missing.
I mean, it was glaringly.
Do you remember the first time you saw Psycho and you were like, what are they doing? What did I just watch? A mistake.
That was you were such a good actor because I thought you were really asking me if I remembered the first time I saw Psycho.
Honey, thank you. Thank you for the acting compliment.
I have like this thing like when I'm doing like auditions where I start my audition and people think I'm not auditioning a lot, and and then I feel a weird sense of pride.
Wow.
Like
how do you know? Do they
because they'll answer the question like say the first line of the scene is, do you remember the first time you saw Psycho?
Right.
Like if I start, I'm like, do you remember? And they're like, what? Remember what? Or what? I'm like, oh, I'm doing the scene now.
That's pretty cool.
But it happens to me a lot.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not trying to like super brag. I'm just saying this is something that I notice that happens to me a lot.
Here's what I would do.
And I want to say I feel a little bit of like, okay.
Let me give you a little advice. Here's what I would do.
Okay.
When you're getting ready to start your scene, you like center yourself, you know, get your feet planted.
Sure.
And then you pretend to pull up a little curtain over your face so people know the show
like
is
I'm
starting.
pantomiming.
Exactly. No, I'm not suggesting bring a little curtain.
Okay.
I'm saying you just, with your hands, with your actor's hands, you use your gift of mime.
Yes.
And you pull up a little curtain. Or if you want.
Yes.
Because I was miming like more of a window shade.
Sure. That was like a Roman shape. That was like a Roman
shape.
Yeah.
What you do is you have both your hands to the side and you pretend you're pulling the string of the curtain, you know, the stage curtain.
Like the end of the Carol Burnett show.
I don't recall that.
I'm thinking of something else.
I think you might be.
Maybe?
Carol Burnett mopped up at the end. Remember there was the cartoon of her mopping up.
Yeah. I do remember that. There wasn't like a curtain being closed or opened. Closed.
There probably was, because I think the conceit was this was her cleaning up after the show was over. I think on the very last episode, she actually dressed as that little cartoon.
The little cartoon lady?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, speaking of cartoons.
Let's get into it.
Don't you have a little announcement?
Yes. I am a voice, or a few voices, on this new reboot of all these Hanna-Barbera cartoons called Jellystone, which essentially is like every Hanna-Barbera cartoon in one place, with the exception of like, I think the Flintstones. But you know what? I think the Flintstones do show up at some point. But it's
gotta include the Flintstones if you're gonna.
If you're gonna talk about Barbera, you gotta include the Flintstones.
You can't like leave one of them out.
We're talking Yogi Bear, Boo Boo. We're talking Snagglepuss. We're talking Top Cat. We're talking everybody.
You're talking all
Jabberjaw.
Of them.
I do the voices of Magilla Gorilla.
Sure.
I do the voice of the Funky Phantom.
Okay.
Which was a very obscure cartoon. I remember it from when I was a kid. The Funky Phantom was a cartoon about a bicentennial ghost.
Okay.
It must have been 1976 when this cartoon happened. Hiccup.
Sure, the bicentennial.
Yeah. And he was a founding father's ghost.
Okay. Real going out there with the imagination on the.
That's right. There's some properties they weren't allowed to use. I think like they weren't allowed to use Josie and the Pussycats. Because maybe they still consider that a viable property in some other way.
Yeah, like they may want to do more, like another live action or whatever.
Right.
Yeah.
People have a strange affection for that movie. But maybe
I've never seen it.
Maybe I'm not one to speak because I saw it as an adult man. And I think it was very meaningful maybe to little girls.
Sure.
Who saw it.
Why would you even see it as an adult man?
Why did I? Oh, you know what? I saw it at the drive-in. It was a double feature.
Okay.
Right? Yeah, I saw it at the drive-in. I think I saw that and like whatever Fast and Furious movie came out then. I can't remember.
So about this Jellystone, it is now going to be coming.
It's coming out very soon. I think maybe Monday or something.
So you have Neighborhood Listen on Monday.
That's right.
And you have Jellystone. And where can people find Jellystone? We know where people can find Neighborhood Listen.
Neighborhood Listen, Stitcher Premium, Jellystone, HBO Max.
Hobo Max. So
I'm finally part of the HBO Max family.
Fire up your subs. Fire up your subscriptions.
Take advantage of those free limited trial offers. Watch it all and ditch it.
Should I see if anyone else has responded?
Yeah, take a look.
I'm scared.
This is exciting. Just opening up the app. Here we go.
Nothing.
But they might be healthy people that are not checking their email, at 8:00 on a Friday night.
Some people were East Coast. I'll give them that.
It's true. They're probably in Betty By, New York, the city that goes to sleep.
These people don't know me from Adam. They might think it's like some cry for help and they're like setting a boundary with me.
How did this fan get my email address?
Yeah, they're setting a boundary. I mean, the fact that Weird Al gave me the haha, like, I'm good. Like, I feel like.
Right? That's validation right there.
But then, I mean, like now if I was like, no, I'm really struggling, then they would know this person's asking for something.
Does everyone know what a sweetheart Weird Al is? I hope people know.
Yeah.
I mean, he's
no, there's
beloved,
a whole
but I hope they
write-up
know
of
that
him in the
life.
New York Times. Is like
really?
There's like a whole write-up
Recently?
of. Yeah.
I didn't see that.
Well, I saw it, but I didn't read it. So, what does that make me?
He's, like a person. You don't read everything. Come on. We see sometimes you see a headline. That's good enough.
I don't need a New York Times article to tell me he's beloved.
That's right.
Like I'm already there.
He is like. It really is amazing.
He's like really
though.
like the kindest human.
He is. He's very sweet, and he loves comedy, which is cool. Like the first time I met him was at Mr. Show. Or no, I didn't. See, I had this in my head that I met him then, but I didn't. I was told that he came by the offices because he was a fan. I started working there in the second season, and he had loved the first season and came by and like gave albums to like CDs to Bob and David.
Okay.
But I did not meet him until I was screaming in his face, as documented in my
your comedy
special, Laboring Under Delusions. But what's so fascinating to me about him is that he is like the king of his genre and has been since the 70s, like the late 70s.
Oh, he started in the late 70s?
Yeah.
But I feel like I only heard of him in the 80s when I was an infant.
Yeah, that's right. But yeah, he's lasted that long. I want to say like 1978, 1979 or something was his first thing that he submitted to Dr. Demento. And then he became the king of like parody songs. And he's taken all comers. Like
what a brilliant avenue of comedy, right? Because parody you don't have to pay royalty on.
Yes, you do.
Oh, you do?
Yes, you do. And here's the thing. Because a lot of people think it's satire, and so that's fair use. When it comes to music licensing,
yeah.
If you change the words but you're still using the tune,
yeah,
you owe them money. You have to pay them.
Oh, okay.
And so Weird Al always pays. This is what people don't realize is that he pays for all of those songs that he does.
Right.
And then of course, like there was a famous story with, I think it was Coolio didn't want him to do Gangster's Paradise because first he approaches the artist and says, "Are you okay if I do a parody of your song?"
Okay.
Most people say, "Yeah, absolutely, of course." Because
also it helps the song in a weird way. Even if the song's huge, then they don't need it.
It helps it in a very tangible way too because they split
make money
the
off
money.
of
They make money off of it. So then once somebody explained to Coolio, actually, you can make all this money if he does this parody.
Nothing,
he was like,
him doing.
"Absolutely, let's do it."
Right. Yeah. I mean, why not?
I think there's very few people that have turned Weird Al down for that.
Interesting. Someone should do a documentary.
Someone should do a documentary. He would be a great documentary subject.
Sure. I'm sure he's been approached.
Scott should do it. Scott Ackerman should do it.
Yeah, Scott. Scott's close with Weird Al.
Yeah.
So he should do it. Scott.
But there was a movie. Scott. I heard about this from Scott. There was a movie that, or a comedy special that someone did where they had all these parody songs. And then when it came to like the editing.
Yeah.
Somebody's like, "Did you get all the rights to these songs?" Like, "No, we don't have to because it's fair use." And they said, "No, you have to get the rights."
Right.
And they said, "Well, Weird Al doesn't." And the guy said, yes he does. So they had to go and they had to I think they had to write original songs. I don't think they got the clearance to use the parodies.
So interesting.
Yeah.
Wait, so you guys, you remember Sopranos?
Woke up this morning, got myself a gun. Yeah.
Okay. And they had such great music in the show.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know how I came across it. I bought, I don't know, or I either came across it or a swag or I came across it.
I know
the music
of,
yes. I got like this album that was like the music of the Sopranos. And I was like really excited because it's like.
What a great compilation.
It's
of
like
so many
a
great
lot
songs.
of like old standards and like, classic rock and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And it says, I'm sure people know about this. This is like a common thing at this point, but it says it's like by various artists.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, oh, I'm so excited. And so like I was playing like the album and it's like some studio band called Various Artists or something.
It's called the BB Band.
Oh, wait.
Here's why it's by various artists. Because like the theme song, they have that. So they put the theme song on there.
Yeah,
but
it starts with "Woke Up This Morning."
There's like a few songs that they got the rights to, and then there's other ones that they just had somebody do a sound-alike to.
Yes,
and it's the Bada Bing Band, baby.
But that's not what they use in the show. They got the real songs in the show.
Yeah.
And I just remember, I think I was playing it, and you were like, "What the fuck is this?" or something once.
Because it sounded off. It was like, wait a minute, this does sound
it's like very close.
Yes,
it's very close.
Yeah.
And I was like, "Oh, it's the Sopranos or whatever," and I was like, I'm stuck with it now. Like, this is what I bought. This is what I got.
Yeah.
I don't think it was like, I think I bought it like through Apple, back in the day, like when you bought
iTunes or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah. When you bought like that's what I bought.
I first learned about this from Mr. Show because there was a sketch they did, I think in the third season or fourth season, maybe the third season, where they wanted to close it with the song Dreamweaver. You know that song?
Yeah.
Dreamweaver.
Do I know that song?
Well, you're my Dreamweaver.
Who are you talking to?
You're my Dreamweaver.
I mean, I am like a yacht rock person.
That's right. That's very true.
Yeah.
But the rights to use the original track, that can be where all the money goes. Like, that's crazily expensive.
Okay.
So they did a sound-alike. Mark Rivers, who was doing music for the show, did recorded that song.
But with different words?
No, same words.
So you can use it. So what you're saying is that music rights wise, if you're using the tune, so it's the tune that is the copyright.
Yes, it's the original. If you're using the most expensive thing is the original track, right? Okay. That's why nobody ever uses the Beatles, because the rights to the actual Beatles songs are outrageous.
Okay.
So the most expensive thing is the original track. After that, if you do a sound-alike thing, you still have to pay, but it's way less. So that would cover parody songs too. If you're using the tune, then you have to pay, but you don't have to pay as much as if you use the original track. Like if you took like a song and just removed the vocals from it and then sang your parody lyrics over it, you would be in the same trouble as paying for the original track, because you're using the original instrumentation and everything.
Okay.
The original recorded music. But if you record your own music and record your own lyrics, you still have to pay, but it's less. It's way less.
Okay.
But it depends from artist to artist, So like when I did my You Should Have Told Me special, I had that Amy Mann song that I put over the end of it. And because I happen to know Amy, I was able to get that for free. Like there was a contract and like licensing and stuff like that.
Wait, she just gave it to you?
She let me use it. Yes. Yeah.
I think nice of her.
There might have been some money, but it was like a very low fee that was like, but it had to be, you have to put it in writing. It can't just be a handshake deal. You know what I mean?
Okay. You got the friends and family discount.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
But music publishing, there's a lot of money in there. A lot of fucking money in there.
Good.
That's why
good for the musicians.
Yeah. That's why a lot of times bands fall out, is because one guy
somebody's
or two guys are making all the money.
Well,
yeah, because they get
songwriting. Did you see the Go-Go's
credit.
Documentary?
I saw parts of it. I didn't see the whole thing.
Okay.
Why do you ask?
Well, just like this issue does come up, like in terms of authorship and stuff.
Yeah. Some bands I know have been smart about it, where they just give songwriting credit to the whole band. So like everybody always has money coming in.
Yeah.
Yes. And it's like, so it makes people less inclined to leave.
I think that's a smart way to do it, because essentially it's like if you're running a corporation and you give your employees shares, right?
Yeah.
It's like you're saying, like, I believe in this
like in
company.
Houston's restaurant.
I don't know. I've never been to Houston's, but everyone
we went together one time.
You mean when you guys made me steal the mug with the H on it? Was that a Houston's?
I think, no, that was a Houlihan's.
No, I've never been to Houston's.
That was after we went to the Tenacious D movie.
I don't know why y'all made me do that. I feel bad I stole that Houlihan's mug, but you're like, oh, there's an H. It's H for Haddad.
Yeah.
Because it was before we were married, so I was just Janie Haddad at the time.
Honey, you're still Janie Haddad.
I know a lot of people just call me Haddad as a first name.
Yeah.
And by a lot of people, I mean mostly Rollin.
At least he says it right.
And people from my high school still like Haddad.
Haddad!
Hey, Haddad. It's fine. I answer to it because it's still my name. I did not
It's not erased.
I didn't get rid of my name.
No. Why throw the baby out with the bathwater? Why throw your name out with your freedom?
I mean, speaking of freedom, I was on. This is bad, but I'm on this like Facebook group.
Wow, that's a bold admission.
For
in this day and age,
I have to. It's like I'm still there because of work things and family things. I'm not on there. I'm not inviting anyone to find me. But like I'm in this group that's like a SAG-AFTRA group, and that's where I learn about SAG-AFTRA stuff. It's like a women in it's like a thing, okay? Mm-hmm. And someone posted this update that SAG is like going to possibly adopt or is moving to adopt
a puppy. Good news, everyone. SAG is adopting a puppy.
Honestly, how cool if they should.
SAG,
to be honest,
should have a mascot.
They should have a mascot.
They should have a living mascot.
They should have a living mascot.
Cute puppy.
Like the Georgia Bulldogs. They have that bulldog.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
I actually think that would bring a lot of cachet to the union.
Every team, any entity that has a mascot named after an actual, like
the ferrets,
non-mythological,
the ferrets, the guinea pigs,
what? The guinea pigs.
Yeah.
The fighting GPs. They should have a mascot that is that thing.
I agree. The goldfish.
If it's humanly possible. The gold. Why are you?
What if they're the Chicago Bears? I don't want a real bear.
A bear.
No. That's like a wild animal in captivity.
What about a koala?
Well, can koalas be in captivity?
Some are, yeah.
Well, some are. I mean, like almost all are.
Yeah, there's animals.
I mean, there's
in
a
zoos.
shamu.
Yeah. Oh, no blackfish.
You see what I'm saying?
I do. You're saying this would be a koala blackfish? He would drag people down, slowly.
If you guys have not
down.
seen the documentary Blackfish, it is. I was shook. Shook.
It's extremely sobering and sad. And also, what you should know, and that nobody tells you, is that there's a scene where a killer whale gets jerked off. That was disturbing.
Wait, you know what?
And
I wish you had not reminded me of the Gus Van Sant scene because I had
Vince Vaughn does it.
Forgotten.
It was a crossover. It was a promotional tie-in.
I was more upset by the scene of the fisherman guy who was the guy who captured the orca, and he like literally was like burdened with so much horrible trauma and guilt that he was like, I don't know what to do with myself.
Yeah.
Anyway, my point was SAG-AFTRA, they're going to maybe make you get vaccinated.
Yes. And it's
to work.
Yeah.
And here's what I couldn't believe, y'all. There were people on the thread. They were mad.
Yeah.
And I was like, this is what I don't understand. Okay, there's people who are like, this is my choice, blah, 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 you know. And there are going to be exceptions for people who are medically exempt from the vaccination. Mm-hmm. The entire purpose of SAG-AFTRA, their whole reason for existence.
Raison d'être.
Their raison d'être is to keep actors safe in their working conditions.
Yeah.
So what were they? I mean, honestly, was like, I saw this coming 8,000 miles away.
I know. But gets into, this is a big issue that we don't have time to get into, but it does get into the, civil rights issue. Of course, I think for the public good, people should get this vaccine. the people that are, I don't think you should be able to ask people if they got the vaccine. I'm torn about showing proof of vaccination. First of all,
but
because
you have to do that prior to a pandemic. You have to do that to go to like foreign countries.
I know, but I know.
Or go to a school with other kids.
But that stuff has all been worked out, and this has been rushed to a point where there's too many loopholes for people. Do you know what I mean?
I mean, I guess I see what you're saying. The thing about the vaccine, I understand like, oh, no one should be forced, blah, blah, blah. But I don't think a workplace requiring it is forcing anyone.
Right.
Because you can go work at some other place. Does that make sense?
It does.
There's still choice.
I think, yeah, there is still choice. I mean, actors have less choice. It's not like, oh, I'll just go act on another TV show. You know what I mean?
But I'm saying they could go work at a Starbucks or whatever.
That's very true.
That's what I'm saying.
True. But it is like... It's something that has to be handled, I think, really carefully because it's a messy issue. It's a messy issue. I feel it. Believe me, I feel the same way that you do. I feel very black and white about it. Like,
I don't want to be on a set with people who aren't going to do it. But
yeah,
I mean, and if they don't want to do it, that's fine. But don't come to set.
Yeah,
don't come to set.
I know.
That's my thing about it. But they're like, oh, this is like forcing, da-da-da. And it's like, it's not forcing. Mm. You can go live, on a compound and do, whatever. And right. Whatever you do. Like, you don't have to do this.
No, but then, yeah, of course not.
It's not essential. It's not like, you didn't go to medical school to do this job. I mean, I went to drama school, but I would never compare it to medical school.
You don't think there's a lot of drama in medical school? Girlfriend, please.
I'm just saying it's like, on a set, it's not a controlled environment. Right. It is a controlled environment. It's not. It's so there's too many variables.
Yeah.
There's way too many variables.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So, and you're close to people and there are instances where you can't wear masks.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, and if you're going to have your lead actor on there who might be an anti-vaxxer or scared to take the vaccine or wants to wait or whatever, fine, stay home. That's your choice. Be masked, stay 6 feet away, and don't come to set. But you got your lead actor who's there with other vaccinated people, and they're going to take their mask off around two other unvaccinated. I mean, then you got someone sick in the middle of production. You're going to shut the production down because this person, there's no way that SAG wasn't going to do that. The fact that people were shocked and stunned, and there was no way that SAG wasn't going to do that because that's the conundrum we're dealing with. This is not like going to a hospital environment where you can wear N95s all day long. Yeah.
But these people are not really shocked. They're just annoyed that they didn't get to just
They're not
do
just
whatever
annoyed.
They wanted to
They're
do.
like threatening to quit and go FICOR.
Go FICOR?
Yeah.
What is that? That's
like when you quit SAG.
FICOR?
Yeah.
I don't know what that means, though.
Well, don't ask me what it means right now.
You know what? Fair enough. Because we got to wrap it up.
It means like you're taking your leave of... It's like you're saying, like, I'm abstaining from being in SAG and, like, I'm only going to work non-union. I'm going to go to these other unsafe sets and take less pay and not qualify for health insurance or make a pension.
Sounds like a great plan.
So I can go maskless without being vaccinated in the presence of 100 people, some of which might have,
yes,
sick people at home.
Exactly. All right, let's wrap this up. Do you have any recommendations?
Guys, did we already talk that we were binging Call My Agent on Netflix? People had recommended it to us.
Yeah.
And listeners had recommended it, and also people we know in life. And for some reason, we just were never in a place to start it. And I love it so much.
It's really fun.
And it's about the industry, but it's like kind of a fun, it's very Shakespearean. It, it has all those like commedia actors where there's like status, like the royals and the wait attendants, and it's just like very structured theatrically, and it's perfect.
And it's in French, so it's nice to put the phones down and
read the
watch
subtitles.
Something. Yeah. But it's it's really fun.
It's lovely. It's on Netflix.
I would also like to recommend a book that I'm reading right now. I'm 2/3 of the way through, called Hola Papi by John Paul Bramer.
Okay.
It's a memoir, I think, that's built around these advice columns that he was doing. He started out doing advice columns for Grindr. It's wild. But
I don't know this person. Do you know this person?
I know him. I was a fan of his on Twitter, and then I met him in New York. He was a guest on Spontaneous Nation, and the book is. It's really funny and sad and sweet, and it's everything. It's everything. He's a terrific writer. I love this book.
Memoir.
I think you would like this book.
I'm all about memoir.
Yeah, you would like this book. It's really good. It's really
I just
good.
started Mike Nichols.
I'll be sad when it ends.
Mike Nichols' memoir, or not memoir. It's not a memoir. It's a biography. Thank you. Yeah,
you're welcome.
By Mark Harris, who's Tony Kushner's husband, I think.
Oh, okay.
I read his Angels in America book. It was really good. It was fun.
Well, all right.
I also follow him on Twitter. He doesn't follow me, but you know what? I don't need him to follow me. Like I don't.
You got Josh Mankiewicz. Yeah.
Yeah.
You're fine.
I mean, me and Josh, whatever. Anyway, no show next week. We're traveling, taking the week off. We also have some plans to maybe wean down our appearances on Stay of Homekins, but we haven't gotten those in order yet.
Yeah, we're going to figure it out.
Once we figure it out,
yeah.
I think aiming for like the fall. That's a double cuckoo night.
Double cuckoo night. That means it's time to go. Thank you, everyone, for listening. We're Stay of Homekins on Instagram and Twitter. stayofhomekins@gmail.com if you want to write to us. We really appreciate your emails and the nice things that you say. Thank you so much for listening. And we'll be back in 2 weeks. Next week, you will have in the feed a movie watch along
that you sync up to the movie.
That's right.
And you play and you get all cozy and you love it.
You listen to us talk. It's great. The way movies were meant to be seen. We'll be back soon. Until then, stay safe, stay sane, and stay strong. And get vaccinated.